Let's run a quick thought experiment. Right now, you've been told that getting rich means winning the startup lottery, timing the next Dogecoin pump, or landing a six-figure signing bonus from a FA company. That's the highlight reel. That's the one-in-a-million shot they sell you to keep you buying lottery tickets. Here's the reality check. The median millionaire in America isn't a 25-year-old crypto bro. It's a married schoolteacher in Nebraska who's been driving the same 10-year-old Camry since it was new. Their biggest daily luxury is drip coffee, not a $7 latte. How's that even possible? It's possible because building real, lasting wealth looks less like a single explosive moonshot and more like the quiet, relentless power of compound interest working its magic at 6 a.m. while everyone else is still hitting the snooze button. It's a game of inches, not miles. I've spent the last decade reverse engineering the boring, almost invisible routines that these quiet millionaires actually run. It's not about genius. It's about discipline. In the next 19 minutes, I'm handing you their entire operating system, the daily, weekly, monthly, and annual habits. This is plain English. No confusing jargon, no secret formulas. You can copy this system exactly, you can ignore it completely, or you can remix it to fit your life. But make no mistake, either way the math is already working. It's either working for you or it's working for someone else who decided to start yesterday. Daily non-negotiables. 1. The 60-second glance. Before the coffee is even finished dripping, before you check a single email or social media notification, open your banking app. This isn't about budgeting. This is about awareness. Just scroll. One long, slow scroll. Spot the weird Uber double charge from last night. Catch the free trial for that streaming service that just turned into a $19.99 monthly subscription. Notice the coffee shop that added a 25% tip by default. Your financial life, left unchecked, will naturally bleed out from 1,000 tiny cuts. This 60-second ritual is the tourniquet. 30 seconds of daily awareness will beat 30 hours of overtime 9 times out of 10 because it's cheaper to plug a leak than it is to work harder to refill a leaky bucket. 2. Treat saving like rent. You would never dream of telling your landlord, I'm not really feeling it this month. You pay your rent on the 1st, no questions asked, because the alternative is getting evicted. It's non-negotiable. You need to treat your future self with that exact same level of ruthless commitment. Schedule an automatic transfer for every single payday. It could be $5, it could be $50, it could be $500. The amount doesn't matter at first. Nickname the savings account landlord or future self rent. When that money vanishes from your checking account before you can even touch it, you've paid the most important bill of the month. Miss a payment, and you're not just letting yourself down. You're slowly getting evicted from your own secure retirement. 3. The one less rule. This is a simple mind hack to short-circuit lifestyle inflation. You're online, your Amazon cart is full, you're ready to get that sweet dopamine hit of a new purchase. Pause. Just before you click place order, take a deep breath and delete one item from the cart. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one, just one thing. Here's the secret. The dopamine hit you get from the remaining purchase stays almost identical, but the slow, silent leak in your wallet vanishes. We think building wealth requires massive deprivation and sacrifice. It doesn't. This isn't a game of deprivation. It's a game of engineering. You're just optimizing your brain's reward system to get the same satisfaction for less money. 4. Invest the first hour. The average American burns 58 minutes a day, doom scrolling through feeds designed to make them angry or envious. That's nearly 7 hours a week of passive consumption. Swap that hour for active investment, not money, but knowledge. Read one page of a finance classic like The Psychology of Money. Do one module of a free Coursera course on data analytics. Listen to a podcast that interviews successful entrepreneurs. Knowledge compounds at the exact same rate as money. If you double stack both, learning more so you can earn more, then investing that extra income, the growth curve goes parabolic. Your income is a direct reflection of the problems you can solve, and knowledge is what builds that problem-solving muscle. 5th Sunday Wallet Audit. Every Sunday evening, take 10 minutes. Dump every single financial transaction from the last week into one place. Every receipt, every Venmo payment, every Apple Pay tap, every credit card swipe. Put it in one column in a spreadsheet. Now, Divide the total by 7. That number is your daily burn rate. It's the cost of your existence for one day. If that number makes you flinch, perfect. That feeling is the beginning of change. You just bought a full week's worth of financial self-awareness for the price of 10 minutes of your time. This isn't about judging your past spending. It's about gathering the raw data you need to make better decisions next week. 6. The $0 Meal Prep Challenge. The average work lunch costs around $16. It feels insignificant, but it's a death by 1,000 cuts. For 1 week, try this challenge. 5 work lunches, 1 grocery run, $10 total. That's it. Rice, beans, frozen vegetables, eggs, lentils. Call it the anti-influencer diet. It's not glamorous, but the math is that $16 you save each day isn't just $16, it's a seed. At 5 days a week, for 50 weeks a year, that's $4,000. But you don't just put that $4,000 under your mattress, you invest it. At the market's historical average, that $4,000 saved in a single year could grow to over $40,000 in 30 years earned while you sleep, all because you chose beans over a burrito bowl. 7th, Index Autopilot. Every single Monday at 9:31 a.m., just after the market opens and the initial chaos settles, have an automatic buy scheduled for a low-cost broad market index fund. Something like VTI, which buys you a tiny piece of the entire U.S. stock market, or FXAIX for the S&P 500. The minimum can be as low as $25. The point isn't the amount, it's the relentless consistency. Using the historical market average of around 10%, even these modest automatic contributions can build to 6 figures over 30 years without you ever having to predict which stock will be the next big thing. You're not trying to be a genius stock picker. You're just strapping your financial plan to the engine of the entire American economy and letting time do the heavy lifting. Monthly power moves. 8. Raise your rate. Your income is your most powerful wealth-building tool. Most people wait for an annual review to timidly ask for a raise. Millionaires negotiate far more often. If you're on payroll, put a 10-minute chat on your boss's calendar this month with the title Growth Path. Don't ask for a raise. Ask, what are the key metrics I need to hit in the next 3 months to move to the next level of compensation? What does extraordinary performance look like here? You're turning the conversation from a plea into a project. If you're self-employed, bump your price by 5% on the first of the month. Keep doing it every month until you get 3 prospective clients in a row to say no. That's how you find your market ceiling. Most people are chronically underpaid because they're afraid of hearing the word no. Treat it as data. 9. Pay the future self-tax. Before the 15th of the month, after your rent and bills are paid, you must pay one more tax, the future self-tax. This means shoveling cash into a retirement account, ideally a Roth IRA. Label it Tax Me Later in your mind. Why a Roth? Because you pay taxes on the money now, but every dollar it grows into for the rest of your life is 100% tax-free. At the stock market's historical 10% average return, even $500 a month can crack $1 million in 30 years. The IRS can audit your 2025 tax return all it wants. Your 2055 self will be untouchable. 10. The coffee with weak ties. Once a month, buy a stranger a coffee. Specifically, someone who is 1 or 2 rungs above you on whatever career or business ladder you're currently climbing. Find them on LinkedIn or through a mutual acquaintance. The agenda is simple. Ask 3 smart questions about their journey, then shut up and take detailed notes. Your close friends and family, your strong ties, usually have the same information you do. Real, game-changing opportunities, on the other hand, almost always travel through weak ties, the people you barely know. These connections are bridges to new worlds of information. Water these connections once a month and watch what sprouts. Entrepreneur specific. 11th Profit, First Friday. This flips conventional accounting on its head. The old formula is sales minus expenses equals profit. The entrepreneur's formula should be sales minus profit equals expenses. The moment revenue lands in your business account, split it immediately into separate bank accounts. 5% to a profit account, 15% to owner pay, 15% to a tax account, and the remaining 65% is all you have for operations. When the ops account hits 0, the company goes on a forced diet until the next deposit comes in. This system isn't just an accounting method, it's a behavioral system that guarantees your business is profitable from day one and ensures the founder actually gets paid. The business stays lean and the founder sleeps at night. 12th, reinvest. $1. The first dollar of profit your business ever makes is the most important. The temptation is to use it to upgrade your lifestyle. A nicer car, a bigger apartment. Resist. Plow that first dollar straight back into the highest ROI activity you can measure. That could be doubling down on a Facebook ad that already converts, hiring a virtual assistant to buy back your time from administrative tasks, or buying a piece of software that slashes customer churn. You must compound the company's growth before you compound your personal lifestyle. Feed the golden goose first, the golden eggs will follow. 13. Build the emergency fortress. Uneven income isn't a bug of entrepreneurship, it's a fundamental design feature. You will have feast months and you will have famine months. The difference between professionals and amateurs is how they prepare for the famine. Your goal is to build an emergency fortress, 6 months of your personal living expenses, held in cash in a separate high-yield savings account, labeled "Do Not Touch Unless on Fire." This liquidity transforms a panic quarter into a mere speed bump. It gives you the space to think, to pivot, to say no to bad clients, and to survive long enough for your next great idea to work. Without it, you're always one bad month away from a cliff. 14th quarterly legal checkup. Once a quarter, pay for a 15-minute Zoom call with your accountant or your attorney. Don't go in with a long list of questions. Go in with just one. What single legal or tax risk on your radar right now could wipe me out completely? Maybe it's a new way that contractors are being classified as employees. Maybe it's a new data privacy law in a state where you have customers. A good professional will spot the iceberg long before it hits your ship. Paying a few $100s now for proactive advice saves you from paying hundreds of thousands to the piper later. Annual big swings. 15th net worth day. Pick one day a year that means something to you. Your birthday, the anniversary of your first sale, New Year's Day. On that day, you will calculate your net worth down to the penny. It's a simple formula. All of your assets, cash, investments, property value, minus all of your liabilities, student loans, credit card debt, mortgage. This one number is the ultimate scoreboard. It cuts through the noise of income, titles, and material possessions. It answers one question: am I winning? Stick that number on the fridge or on a post-it on your monitor. Watching it inch or leap north year after year is the ultimate motivation that makes every tiny, boring habit worth repeating. 16. The skill upgrade invoice. Once a year, you must intentionally burn a crisp $1,000 on a skill that can directly move your income needle. This is not for a hobby. This is an investment. It could be a Python boot camp, a real estate licensing course, a weekend workshop on sales closing techniques, or a certification in project management. The average payback on these targeted skill investments can be sixfold within 12 months. Skip buying the new OLED TV once. The TV will be worth half as much in a year. The skill will be paying you dividends for the rest of your life. You are buying yourself a permanent raise. 17th, recruit your money team. Millionaires don't do everything themselves. They build a personal board of directors for their financial life. Once a year, you assemble your team: a fee-only certified financial planner, the strategist; a tax strategist, the defender; an insurance broker, the guardian; and an estate attorney, the legacy planner. The key is to lock them in the same Zoom call once a year to make sure they are all working from the same playbook, your playbook. This is how you go from playing checkers with your money to playing chess. You're no longer the player, you're the owner of the team. Mindset locks. 18. 5-minute gratitude reframe. Your brain can't be in a state of scarcity and a state of gratitude at the same time. Every morning before you start your day, list 3 things that money already does for you: the hot shower you took, the safe car that gets you to work, the ad-free Spotify that keeps you sane. This simple reframe kills the scarcity loop, that nagging voice that says, "I don't have enough," which is the primary driver of almost all impulse spending and bad financial anxiety. You shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have, which is the foundation of a healthy relationship with money. 19th, 24-hour luxury delay. If you want to buy anything non-essential that costs north of $200, you are subject to a mandatory waiting period. Write the item on a sticky note, hide it in a drawer, set a calendar reminder for 24 hours later. What happens is magical. 90% of the time, the urgent desire evaporates and you forget the item even exists. You didn't want the thing. You wanted the feeling you thought the thing would give you. The other 10% of the time, when the 24 hours are up and you still genuinely want it, you can buy it completely guilt-free. The pause proved your intent. 20. Teach one person a month. Explain a financial concept to someone in your life. It could be explaining the power of compound interest to your niece. It could be walking a coworker through how to open their first Roth IRA. It could be demoing a budgeting app to your barber. There's a secret to teaching. It's knowledge with a boomerang. The act of simplifying a complex idea to explain it to someone else forces you to understand it on a profoundly deeper level. It exposes the gaps in your own knowledge and solidifies your own commitment to the principles. You can't teach what you don't truly know. The momentum milestone. 21st. Celebrate the first $1,000. The first $1,000 you manage to save and invest is the hardest money you will ever accumulate. It's the financial equivalent of breaking the sound barrier. It's where you have to fight against the inertia of living paycheck to paycheck, against old habits, and against the belief that it's impossible. When you hit that milestone, you must celebrate it, not by spending it, but by acknowledging it. Take a screenshot, because once you prove to yourself that you can stack 1,000, you realize that the next 99,000 are just a matter of repetition with more commas. You've built the belief. If even one of these habits just clicked for you, hit the like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm to show this video to more future millionaires who need to hear it. And if you want a one-page summary of all these habits, drop the word habits in the comments and I'll DM you the cheat sheet. 21 habits. It sounds like a lot, but you don't need to adopt all of them today. That's a recipe for burnout. Just pick one. The easiest one. The ugliest, simplest one that you know you can do. Maybe it's the 60-second glance in your banking app. Maybe it's the $5 auto transfer. Maybe it's just drinking water instead of buying a soda tomorrow. Start with that one thing tomorrow morning. Do it every single day for 30 days until it becomes as automatic as breathing. Then, and only then, layer in the next one. 15 years from now, you'll blink. You'll be drinking your drip coffee, looking at your net worth statement, and you will realize that the complicated, impossible game of wealth that everyone else complains about was never really that complicated at all. It was just a handful of boring decisions repeated daily while the rest of the world was still hitting snooze.